All right, we're here to preview round 2 of the A-League men's competition. We're kicking things off on Friday night with MacArthur FC against the Newcastle Jets. Paletti, how do you see this one shaken out?
I think there's only one way this game can go, and I think this is going to be a victory for MacArthur. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire Newcastle Jets game, but based on what I saw, I'm not convinced. I thought they did very well to come back from the early shock, but I don't see where everything's going to come from for them to beat MacArthur. That's a side that's full of confidence. They've won every game they've played so far this season, including going back to the Australia Cup. I honestly only see it going one way. I think it's going to be a MacArthur victory. I think they're full of confidence and they'll take that momentum through to round 3.
Jacob, this is usually where I call Paletti a MacArthur apologist, but I think the evidence is backs them up a lot on this one.
Yeah, and I don't think the Jets look particularly fantastic either. So it's not the craziest shout to say that the MacArthur will win it. And we were all thinking that they'd probably win their first match as well, which they did, but not in the fashion in which they did, which was obviously 6-1, scoring a bunch of goals, and they looked really dynamic going forwards. We touched on it in the podcast. That front third, those attacking players they have are fantastic, and the more of that we can see, the better, because they're a good side when they are in that attacking and goal scoring form. So yeah, MacArthur win, probably like a 2 or 3-0. I think it'll be pretty comfortable for them.
Yeah, Will, high on the Bulls.
Yeah, as I said in the main pod, if you give that a listen to as well, I think we're all sleeping on MacArthur's attack, and I think we saw it come together, and they showed class and clinical display. So yeah, I think they've got the goods for this one.
Coming into the season for me, I think my big concern with MacArthur was how they were going to adjust week in, week out with the absence of De Vea, who was really driving the attack. And I think we saw that, granted, against a very hapless Perth Glory side, is you're going to have that front line very much floating around, going in and out in different positions. Like I saw Yakalish over on the near side in the first half rather than on the left wing, just sort of moving in and around everywhere. And so I think if you keep that fluidity up and the consistency, you're going to just keep getting goals.
Yeah, good argument. I'm going to say a draw for nothing more than the fact that a MacArthur win would seem too normal for the first month of the A-League. So just to switch it up a little bit. Jacob, Adelaide United, first game. They had the bye in round 1. They're back here at home against the Central Coast Mariners.
Woo! I can't wait. I kind of can, but look, this is going to go one of two ways. This game is either going to be the most bonkers goal-scoring game you've ever seen, or the most boring dour football of all time. And there's not going to be an in-between. You've got the Mariners and Adelaide, who two teams that love to score goals, but then you've also got an Adelaide team that isn't fantastic, and a Mariners team that's going to be coming off the back of a short week with Champions League football on Tuesday evening. So they could be potentially tired. So it could be, just really, really boring and slow and just not very good, or it could be extremely exciting with the talent that the two teams do have. So who knows? I think the Mariners get it over the line. I just don't think Adelaide's defense is strong enough to be able to withstand any form of resistance, to be honest. And the Mariners obviously didn't score in that opening game against Victory, but Victory set up extremely defensively, especially after Roderick was sent off. It makes sense to go defensive after that, going down to 10 men. The Mariners just couldn't break them down. But I think against Adelaide, the way that Adelaide played leaves a lot of space, especially out wide. The likes of Mikael Docker, I think, is going to have going to feast against Ryan Kitto on that wing. That's a complete mismatch there. So I think the Mariners will get it done. I think there'll be a few goals scored. I think it'll probably be like a 3-1 or something to the Mariners.
I actually see Adelaide getting it done, Will. I think, Mariners coming off a tough game in China is going to be big. They're going to Coopers, which we know creates a really good atmosphere. They've got the new safe standing. Maybe, you're on top of them a little bit more. But I think all those points add up. Adelaide's first game of the season as well. They have that kind of round 1 effect of optimism and all that kind of thing. I lean towards them.
Yeah, this is the perfect time to be playing the Mariners. I think early in the season before they really settle in. bad fixture away Tuesday night. Mariners will be tired. They didn't really inspire last round, so perfect time to be playing them. But I agree with Jacob. I think this could kind of go either way as well. Like, could see some rudimentary football and a low scoring result, or it could just be 4-3 and a crazy mess. So I think that's where I'm going to chuck my prediction in. It is this game is definitely one of them that impacts mine. I'm going to go for this round having 2 0-all draws and one game with over or 4 or more goals in the game, all up. So I think this game will play a part in that. It'll be one or the other out of those. So that's why I'm going to chuck it in right there.
I like it. Good creativity. Didn't we get to a point in the league last year where we were almost through and we'd only had like 4 0-all draws or something?
Yes, there was not many
right.
0-alls, and I think we're going to see the trend buck this season.
Okay, interesting, Pletty.
I think the big question coming in this one, and I know that Daniel McBreen's asked it quite a bit as well. Do either of these sides have any strikers that can actually score? Is sort of what I'm getting at. I just think I don't know where the goals are coming from. Like, I know Adelaide United don't have any defense if you listen to Jacob Stevens' propaganda, but the Mariners are going to be coming off a midweek fixture. It's not easy to travel to Asia, but I know they went to some far more tougher places to travel last season in less luxurious conditions, but there's direct flights to China, so I think that's probably going to be a little bit easier for them. But I just don't see how either of these sides score, and so I think it's going to be a very low-scoring draw. And honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it's another 0-all draw.
My prediction is that Adelaide win and Victory don't score.
Interesting. Okay. I know Ali Kual had a bit of a rough game on the weekend, but saying they have no strikers that can score goals is maybe a little bit rough. Anyway, we'll go to the derby. I actually think this is one of the games that could be a low-scoring draw. City came out, looked better than I thought they would. They looked very organised. Melbourne Victory, you have, a couple of years under Popovich coming into Patrick Kusnova. They're definitely going to be organised. Both weren't very clinical in the final third. I think this one is, a marker of a game that could have a 0-all draw. We saw the first 2 derbies, I want to say, of last season be really tight in draws as well. So that's where I'm going for that one, Pletty.
I see this very much going the same. I think you got no Miranda for Victory. You've got no Jago for City, who's out with a 2-game ban. I don't know. I just think neither coach is going to want to lose this game rather than win it, if you understand what I mean. And so I think this is going to be... I think the players will absolutely try, but I just think the way that these two sides will match up tactically on the pitch, especially from Kusnovo's perspective, he goes 1 draw, 1 loss to start, and that loss comes to his old side in the Melbourne Derby. Oh boy, pressure! The pressure's already on with this Arzani stuff. I wouldn't want to be in PK's shoes if it goes once.
Yeah, see, I think City will get it done, to be honest. I think that, it could be a case of just, it's going to be 1 goal that snatches it, just sort of, the way that the luck falls. I think that it is within reason that City sort of snatch a 1-0 win or something with a goal in the 70th minute. Sort of late on and not give Victory that chance to get back on the front foot and score an equaliser in reply. I think it is set up where, Will was talking about now's the perfect time to play the Mariners. Now also seems to be the perfect time to play the Victory because, they are a good side and we know that they're going to build into the season as it goes along. So if you can hit them early, then I think that's going to be huge. And I reckon at City, yes, they're losing Jago. That's a big out in the midfield, but it's just, I don't know. I feel like that this sort of game, they rise to the occasion and they perhaps get the job done. So I might be going against the grain there, but I think this is definitely a game that City can win.
Well,
yeah, big clash. I think I really agree with Paletti there, and I think neither side will want to lose. So I think we'll see some withdrawn performances in this round.
Cool. All right, Perth Glory, Wellington Phoenix. This is a game that You could go a number of different directions. It remains to be seen how Perth Glory react to such a heavy defeat in the first round. We know Wellington Phoenix were a little slow off the mark. Italiano's given them this kind of month time frame to kind of really get into gear. I reckon that peak A-League is going to strike again, Pauletti, and Perth is somehow going to come out with a performance that wins them this game by a goal or two in the OG distance derby.
Sorry, that OG part of it just absolutely just knocked me for six. I was not expecting that. I mean, it would absolutely be one of the PK League moments, just for that come back and from getting battered 6-1 the week before to just playing out of their skin. They've learnt their lessons. They've been given a hiding by Strelic, and just put on the performance of a lifetime before going on to get battered by a collective 10 goals over the next 3 weeks after that. That would be the absolute outlier. I mean, we know that Italiano has said he wants to come out and try to play a bit more expansive away from home this year rather than the shut up shop, get a draw, and go back to New Zealand with a point. For me, I have to give this one to the Knicks. I just think it's going to be too hard for the Glory to come back from what was granted an anomaly based on everything we've heard. But if they were underdone this week, just gone per David Strelic, is that something you're going to be able to turn around in a week? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's I think it's going to be the common prediction is that Perth get done at home because of last weekend's result. But I don't know, there's stuff there. Wellington, always tough to travel. Obviously, the OG distance derby, but I don't know. I'm going to say maybe I take a draw in this one.
I still like Perth, and I do want them to get the win. I so badly want them to get a win and to really kickstart their season, and come away from this with something and not just more of that same low confidence, thrown it away already sort of attitude. Like, give it a go, boys. And it's a Phoenix side that I think we all agreed they didn't look fantastic. They looked adequate. I think they looked as we sort of expected them to in round one. It's a chance to strike, home. Yeah, my heart's telling me say that Glory are going to do something here, but my head's telling me that the Phoenix are too good for that. So I'm gonna probably err on the side of caution and go with the Knicks there.
All right, there we go. Let's move on to Auckland versus Sydney. Now, this is where my prediction comes in, and I'm just going to say very broadly, this is going to be the most fun game for the neutral fan. You've got Auckland who are backing up their round one at home. I'm sure you're going to get maybe not the full 25,000 complement, but I'm sure lots of people will want to come back. Sydney FC, one of the most attacking, exciting teams in the league. I'm predicting a fun game, Will. I'm going to split this one down the middle as well. I think there's going to be a few draws this week. I know Sydney are going to score a lot of goals this year, but Auckland's defence looked really good. And they got a good midfield pair in front of them as well that had really had a really solid game. So I'm going to say a 1-1 draw.
I was thinking 2-2 for the score for me. I think these are two teams that I don't know about you guys, but at this point, I want to see them just play more. I want to see these are the game that I'm most looking forward to, and the two teams that I'm most excited about. I think there's so much narrative and all of that around them that it's just an exciting proposition. But I do see some goals in this. Auckland looked really solid. They weren't really tested that much. There could be some leaks, but I think they're also capable going forward. So I see, a draw is good. I think some goals though. So I think about a 2-2.
Yeah, no, I agree that we can see goals, and it kind of plays into my prediction as well. So I'm just going to get it out there now. And my prediction is that away teams in this set of fixtures are going to combine for 7 goals. And I think that Sydney could do a couple there. Obviously, the Mariners can do a few. Then there are some games that we've pointed out which probably could be quite low scoring. So, yeah, I've said that away teams are going to combine for 7. I do expect Sydney to do a brunt of the work there. But no, I'm with you, Lockie. I think it's going to be an extremely exciting game. If for nothing more than, hopefully that sort of first round past Sydney, they looked very, very good against the Wanderers, but just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. And I think this is going to be an opportunity to do that, hopefully, with it not being a derby, right? The game might be a little bit less cagey in those opening minutes, and that there can be a bit more free-flowing. But then they do come up against an Auckland side who rightfully people have been talking quite highly about because they did look pretty good against the Raw. So no, it'll definitely be an exciting game, like you said, Lockie. But I'm going to give it to Sydney here. I think they've just got too much class.
Just give Lockie the 3 points now. It's obviously it's going to be a fun game because they've got the super fun happy slide there at Go Media Stadium. Just take your 3 points now and get out of my sight.
That's not a prediction that's deserving of 3 points, even if it does come off. I think he's hoping we all miss and going for a low bar. That's Lockie's.
Well, I mean, hang around to the end of the episode because it's a low bar this week as well.
but seriously though, my first actual thought that was also, funnily enough, a Simpsons reference when you said it's going to be a fun game. It just reminded me immediately of Marge Simpson. It was like, can I just bet that both teams are going to have a good time? It was like, I think that line over there was bets. Look, I think that in the Steve Corica derby that this will... I think that Ufi Tale is going to get one over his old boss. I think that it's going to be a Sydney FC victory.
Yeah. All right. Interesting dynamic there, of course. Yeah, with Steve Corica as well. Switching over clubs. Jacob, final game of the round. Western United versus Western Sydney.
Yes. My prediction was going to be on this game. I was going to make a joking one that both Western teams would score, but only when attacking to the east. But then I checked Google Maps and the pitch runs north to south. So I made sure that wasn't my prediction because I didn't want to lose off the bat. That would be a real Christian thing to do.
So how you do it is that you work out where the camera's pointing, which way's north, which way's south from there, and then you go. So like looking at Marin Yakulish's goal from the MacArthur game on the weekend where he's come on for the 18-yard box, hooked it in on the angle, running east to west. That's how you get that one. But I think that's a little bit
I'm not even going to risk it there. Yeah, no. My idea was much simpler than that, Paletti. Don't make me out to be smart here. Come on. But no, this game, whoo boy, Western United were not very exciting, and the Wanderers were not very exciting, and this game probably going to follow in similar footsteps and be not very exciting, but I can see goals. That's the other thing, is that I don't think that the Wanderers are strong enough defensively. I don't think Western are strong enough defensively. I do think that it could be quite leaky. Just in terms of the general squads on paper, Wanderers look stronger. I think Western, though, surprisingly, are probably more likely to squeak out a result here. I don't know if the Wanderers have that sort of squad mentality yet to be able to get wins in these sort of weird games that could be a bit chaotic. We saw in the derby in round one that the sort of composure was a bit of an issue for them, especially in midfield where they just didn't have much of a presence. And I think that Western at least sort of seem to have some sort of squad togetherness. They got obviously that contingent of Japanese players who all seem to be on the same page, are good friends. They've got this young core of players who really want to prove their point, whereas the Wanderers, while I think that they've got the better squad, it's going to take some time to sort of build into what they can do and what they can be. And so, we're talking about good times to play sides. I think Western are probably pretty lucky that the Wanderers are coming up against them now, because I do think that Western will probably get the result here.
So in the context of last week where the Wanderers played the battle of the giants of world football in terms of Brazil, Douglas Costa, and Spain, Juan Mata. This week I'm pitching the battle of the giants of Asian football. Obviously we have Western United, a trio of Japanese players, but specifically Hiroshi Ibusuki up top in a one-on-one duel against South Korea's Jong Tae-wook, who got a little bit messed around in his first game in the A-League.
He was not great.
Did not live up to expectations, so I'm really looking forward to that duel. And obviously I'm just going for a very fun round overall, but the most fun in Auckland, Sydney. But I think Western, let's see if they can do a job and get a win in this one as well, Will.
Yeah, I think I either have Western or a 0-0. This is one of the games that factored into my prediction. So I don't know. We saw Western Sydney set up at home, pretty defensively minded. That was due to personnel. So, interesting to see who comes back in the lineup if Kraev gets his start, because they were, much more dangerous when he was in effective areas. But then again, he got shuffled around when Costa came on into a wider position that wasn't really as effective. So I think Stadge still has some stuff to work out, and I think a result on the road will be tough.
Yeah, I mean, the Western Derby of the East, anything could happen here. It's Ironbark Fields. If the weather plays up, who knows what's going to happen? It's a very open field. Just give me a draw again. I think a draw is fine, and I think based on the amount of draws I've picked is where my predictions are going to come in. Given that I'm rounding out with yet another draw, I think there's going to be 12 goals scored across, or should I say, at least 12 goals scored. And now that might seem like a very low number, but if you have a look at last week, there were 15 goals across the 6 games, and one of them was very heavily skewed by a 5-goal first half domination from MacArthur. I don't quite think we're going to get that this week, but I think there are the potential for some 2-2 draws in there, which heavily bump the number up, but also those 0-0. So I think it'll all balance out, and there'll be at least 12 goals across the 6 fixtures this weekend.
You know what? I've just realised what I don't like about Western United is that they've chosen their name so that you can't say either Western or United and people understand which team you're talking about.
I just call them Western. Like, I'm too used to calling Adelaide United. So they're strictly
and I
Western
completely understand that. But now you say Western and you have to clarify with either Wanderers or United. And now you can't even just call Adelaide United. I understand you can do that because you're in South Australia.
Yeah.
But I'm in Victoria. I can't do that because people think I'm talking about Western United. So look, maybe when RB, 5 years down the road, the relationship develops, we'll finally get some differentiation on the naming. All right, there you go. There is our round 2 preview. We have one more prediction to cut off, and that is Christians. So no red cards. We had 3 this week in round 1. Christians predicting a little bit of better behaviour this time around from some of our more experienced A-League players as well. I guess they won't be on the field to make those silly errors, so maybe he's got a good chance of it. Let's head towards round 2. No, that's not right. Let's head back to round 1 and award some votes. We've got to give a 3, 2, 1. Here are all our predictions on the screen in front of you. No one got anything right. Dead on. 100%. Will, I could see you were about to contest me on that, but no, 100%. No one missed it. No one got it on the nose. I'm going to open the floor today. I want to hear some pitches because I think this could go many different ways. Will, do you want to lead us off?
I can lead us off. I mean, I went for the mean value in my Mariners prediction. It's something that just for the sake of the league and for, silencing some Victory fans, maybe I wanted it to happen. Just from a non-biased point of view, it would have been funny. So that's why I went with that one. And then my actual predictions were the ones I saw coming off. My actual predictions came off Auckland win over Raw. Pretty tough. It's hard to say how they were going to go in their first fixture. Nobody really knew. Some of you had them in 9th and lower down, so you guys wrote them off. I backed them all the way.
Where'd you have Brisbane?
Last. So, okay, I see what you're saying. Well, and then Sydney, I kind of backed out of the just pure win. I did think the Sydney FC would get the win. So that takes a little bit off a shine off that one, but still 2 games, on the nose there out of 3. The weather didn't, played a big role in slowing down that Mariners game against Victory. So I'd say I blame the weather, which is out of our control. We can't influence that at all.
Insert that AFTV clip.
I can't really factor that in when making my prediction. So I don't think that's really my fault. So I think mine still is up there. Maybe not 3 points, but I think I need to see some points on the ladder.
So Jacob, when I strip away the PR training from that pitch, I hear missed prediction. Team that Will predicted to be mid-table beating the team that he predicted to get the spoon. Yeah. And then the team that most of us are predicting to win the whole thing, getting a win or draw against the Wanderers. I think that's very impressive.
Away RBB was very loud, very scary. Doing it there, it's a big, like, I don't know how Sydney FC got there if it was a bus, but traffic wasn't great. Like, it would have been pretty hard. The train's not very easy from out where they are, wherever they are. So yeah, all of those factors.
Okay, I will say, as someone who has caught that train on Derby Day, I do agree that it is a difficult train ride, but I can't imagine that Sydney FC were taking the train. I think.
Why are we letting Will say this? What's wrong with us?
I'm just throwing it out there. I just want to say I'm not sure. Nobody really knows. Nobody knows either way.
I think my problem with Will's argument is the idea of this win or draw. It really is, like, I know we've had some very low bars in our predictions game, but that's like, you know, to use betting terminology, that's like $1.15, you know, favorite sort of vibe. You know, you're taking the double chance there. I think if you'd have just said win, then I'd be more inclined to say, based on everything this week, I'd actually be prepared to say 3 points. I think
I don't expect 3. If you're talking about low bar, look at Lockie's prediction. I mean, we're not there yet, but
whoa! What
That's a good segue.
A goal
contribution.
Douglas Costa goal contribution.
I'm
A
so
goal
brave,
contribution is a tough thing.
It didn't
I'm
even
not
come
going to
off.
give Lockie squat for that.
No,
Yeah,
hold your mouth just for a second.
That bar is below sea level.
No, that is not true. Go back. Okay, I want you to go back and listen to Christian's pre-season analysis of Sydney FC, where he talks about Douglas Costa. He's not a goal scorer. We shouldn't expect goals from him. That's not the kind of player that he is.
This is coming from Christian, who
Why
has
are you using
never
Christian
seen him
as
get
a
a prediction
source?
right.
But it wasn't an official prediction where he's usually on the money. So he's done all right. And in a week when no one has got a prediction 100% correct, mine is literally inches from coming off. Douglas Costa played the ball in that got flicked onto Klamala's head that went in the goal. So we got the pre-assist for that goal, just inches.
Okay,
If
so
the cuts were candy and nuts, I forget how the rest of that goes. But the point I'm saying is that, like, if the weather had held up, me and Will probably were getting a lot closer to 3 points than, you know, Costa gets to an assist. That's all I'm saying.
I'm sorry,
if
but
we're doing that, if we're taking Lockie's logic here, if we just say, I think there's going to be 100 goals scored, and there were 100 shots taken. You go, well, there could have been goals.
No.
What is this thought process?
Because that's like, a couple of feet multiplied by 100. This is a couple of inches once. I'm so close.
Okay. Lockie, I see your point, but Hayden Matthews' header was off target and not going in. I get it if it was like a shot going in and then Costa and then Klamala kind of stole a Costa assist away from him. But that ball from Matthews, I've looked at it that angle. I was in a great view. I was in a great spot to view it, and that ball wasn't going in, so it didn't really rob an assist. I get the pre-assist, but it's just not counted as a goal
pre-assist.
contribution.
It's no, I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying it's close. And in a week, as I say, when no one's got theirs on the money.
If this was ice hockey, you'd get it because it would go down as a secondary assist. But this isn't ice hockey, okay?
Round
So
ball.
I'm thinking this is my. Can I just jump back in with another argument, please? Lockie's Douglas Costa goal contribution is about the same as Sydney win or draw. Come on. And then I have Auckland on top of
not
that.
at all.
Honestly,
Go back and
That's how
look.
that's how
I'm
you're
gonna-
walking the line there.
Okay, I'm going to put a 3-2-1 out there that I think is fair. I'm going to go Jacob 3, Christian 2, and then myself 1. I think
not a
If we're going to
chance.
play the weather
Not
card,
a chance.
if we're going to play the weather card, I got completely screwed over by the weather on Friday night with the Mariners.
No, you are
No, because-
20,000 people off.
Yes,
Okay,
that's
all
nowhere
right.
near. That's nowhere.
So we can rule out Paletti and Ross, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Ross didn't get close.
Yeah.
Were we even mentioning Ross?
Are we putting Christian and Jacob together up at the top two? That's probably fair.
I think so.
My main
think so.
argument is, right, obviously I didn't get it, no three or more goal margins, and then obviously MacArthur went and scored 6 and ruined that. But using sort of twisted Lockie logic, is mine was in play for the longest amount of time, like up until the
That doesn't. No.
No, that doesn't count. All right, I thought I'd give that
Come
a shot
on.
and see.
You're
But,
getting it close to coming off from the 5 out of 6. That's
Yeah,
how you're close.
yeah.
Yes. And I'd have Jacob as 3. I do think Jacob's 3, Christian 2, and then 1 is where, you can make your choice.
Yeah, I think very rarely is there a game that doesn't have a booking. So I think Christian
especially
gets,
in the A-League.
especially in the A-League, so Christian gets low credit for that, and then only 4 out of 6 for a goal in the second half, which is it's 4 out of 6.
I'm with you.
4 out of 6 doesn't look great, right? I'm happy to award Jacob the 3 votes there. Congratulations, and Christian too. Well done.
Nice.
3 votes. Okay, and then it's between myself
good
and
pick.
Will for the 1 voter. You've heard my argument. I think I'm inches away. Will's gone for some pretty,
But Will at least
pretty
got
easy
something right.
ones.
Like,
You got
Will-
0 right, and I got 2 right out
Yeah,
of 3.
Will got 75%.
No, but
no,
you,
not
you got to think
76%.
about Jacob. You got to think about the precedent you're setting here. You're a lawyer. You understand how case law works.
I
If you're
do.
saying that we can just throw out multis and start missing them willy nilly to give yourself more chance of hitting something, think about the kind of game that you're
No,
playing.
I
But
understand
Will
that,
hit
but I
one-
also
but
understand.
Will
I
hit
also
2 out of
understand the
3.
precedent. I understand the precedent setting of giving points when you get something wrong. Like you
Think
didn't
about
get
how
something
close
right.
it was.
You
But
didn't
you
get anything
didn't get
right.
anything right. That's all. That's what we're saying.
No,
You
hold on,
didn't
hold on.
get a
And you went
thing
for a
right.
low bar.
For the rest of you, you've picked predictions that go across multiple games, and we're giving you X out of Y, right? We're saying how close you were to getting yours correct. You look at that footage, I was inches away from getting mine correct as well.
Okay, if you have said, it said if you had have said, and I don't know if we can roll the tape to go back to your official wording when you made your prediction. If you had have said Douglas Costa will be involved in the build-up play for a goal, then absolutely you get a point. But you said
I'd be
it
getting
would
3 points with that.
No,
But
you
you
wouldn't.
said
That's
it
the
would
lowest
be-
bar I've ever heard.
Lower bar.
That's so
it's
terrible.
so low. It's 6 feet under the grave that we're digging by defiling this predictions game. If
All right, no, next
I got
round.
carried
Okay,
away
next
there.
round. I changed my prediction from what I said before. I'm going to predict over 2 goals for the whole round. I'll take the 3 points. Thank you very much, guys. I'll take the 3 points.
Is
game
that
works?
official? Is that real?
No,
Yeah, chicken.
but it'd be funny.
All right. So 3 votes Jacob, 2 votes Christian, 1 vote me.
no, 1 vote Will.
No,
I'm
thank
going
you.
Will. I'm
No.
sorry.
Nice try,
I tried.
Lucky. Nice try, Lucky.
All
That was-
right.
He almost snuck that by me, to be honest. Like
So
I almost
close.
didn't catch that.
That's host privileges.
All right. Well, there you go. I fought hard. Fair fight, everyone. It wasn't to win today. Congratulations, Jacob and Will, and Christian as well. Some votes on the board for round 1. We'll sit tight. We'll be back next week for round 2 of the predictions game. We'll see you then.